Welcome to this comprehensive guide where we bring technology and productivity together. In today's video, we will walk through setting up and integrating powerful tools to streamline your workflow. Here is what you will accomplish by the end of this video. Set up Google Cloud Project with the right permissions to access the Gmail API for reading and sending emails. Download and configure the authentication token to securely connect your application to Gmail. Build a project in Visual Studio to programmatically read emails and send responses using the Gmail API. Design a skill set matrix tailored for Retrieval-Augmented Generation, that is RAG, customized to your unique expertise. Configure an OpenAI API key with permissions to interact with the GPT-4 model for intelligent email automation. Finally, put it all together to send professional automated email responses to recruiters with the ease. This video is packed with actionable steps to help you build solutions that are not only functional but also showcase your technical prowess. Whether you are a developer, freelancer, or tech enthusiast, this guide is perfect for anyone looking to combine Gmail, AI, and automation to save time and stay ahead of today's fast-paced digital world. So grab your coffee, fire up your development environment, and let's dive into this exciting journey. Let's get started. Let's start with cloud.google.com and go to the console. And in this console, you can see my first project. Here we have to set up the API for Google, or Gmail. So let's go and click on the API and services. And here we have to enable the API. So let's search for Gmail, and you can see Gmail API came here, and that's the one that we have to select. Let's click on that and enable the service. Here we have to select the credentials. So let's let it load, and you have to create the credentials. So we are dealing with user data, so let's select the user data. At this moment we are not dealing with application data, so we can continue. Click on the next, and this is the application name and developer contact. So let me put my email address here and save and continue. I think I have to give the application name. Let's put like Gmail Reader, and it also needs the contact information, so I'll put my. And when you publish this application, like for others to use, that time you can also put some logo, nice looking, that is branded for you. But for now, I'll just save and continue. This is just for a console testing. So we can skip these scopes because this is optional, because in the application we are going to read emails, so we may need a scope that may be related to the application, whatever we are going to use it. So whenever we are going to add or request a new scope, we can come back to this particular in this scope selection. Let's start the application first. Let's start a Visual Studio. Here we are going to create an application that is going to use Gmail API service. And when we write the code, as we need multiple scopes, whether to read or to send emails, we will be going to add other scopes. For now, we are going to make a simple application. Let's start with console application, but you can select different templates for other type of application. So for me, I'm going to select console, and for multi-platform, so I'll select that, and let's go next. Let's give it a name. Let's say Gmail Reader. and let's click next. I don't need the Docker support, but you know what, let's add the Docker support, because that way we can also experience how Google API can be consumed from a Docker. So let's select that and let's click create. It is going to start Visual Studio. It is going to create the project in Visual Studio, and then it's going to load the project. Okay, so it created the project. Now it is loading. I can see it is restoring the NuGet packages and building, and now it is starting the Docker desktop. So it's going to take, I think it's going to take some time. So meantime, while it is loading, we can go to and set up the required scopes. So you can go back to the project in Google Console and select the add scopes. Here we can search for Gmail related scopes, and I know one thing we are going to use is the read only scope. So let's for reading all the emails, so that is the first thing we are going to do that. And let's at this moment let's select that and update, and when we need other scopes we are going to come back and add it. We are going to complete these setup, so because we also need the credentials. So let's select this application type as the desktop. I'll give this this is for the desktop application that we just created, the console application. So we can just give a name, but this name is just for your reference only. So it's going to be the Gmail data collector, maybe something like that. And it's creating. The important is that it is we are going to download the credentials required from our application. So let's download this JSON file. As you can see, it is downloaded. So let's go to the folder, and I'm going to rename this one to credentials. Let's copy, and I'll paste it in Visual Studio. All right, so now next step is let's create a new class, and I'm going to create a class called the data, for the data that we are going to collect. So let's add a new class, and I'll call this as the email data, and let's add that. Okay, so this is the email data class. I already have a schema definition, so I'm going to paste it here. So mainly this is to collect the information, and I am going to replace this the main function with the code that I have. Okay, so now it is I need to add the required NuGet packages. So let's go and browse. I need to add 2 NuGet packages for Google. So let's paste. One is this Gmail, so let it install. Once this is done, I'm also going to add another package for Gmail, which is for authentication. The JSON file that you can see that will be used for authentication. So let this one done. Okay, done. So now let's add the auth, and once the auth is added, we should be able to resolve all the namespaces. I think I still missed one, so CVS helper needs to be added. So let's add that, and it is resolved. So now let's rebuild and start the container. Okay, it is building started, and it is successful. Now it's going to start the container. Okay, it's still running, and most likely it's not going to work in the container, and we have to run it inside the local computer. So because you can see it failed to launch the browser in a container. So let's start debugging with here in the browser. So if I press F5 here, and now I'm running this one on the local computer, not in the container. So by pressing F5, if I continue, it's going to launch a browser and give that ask me to authenticate. Oops, this the access is blocked. That is because I don't have. So let's add a user for a test user. So I'm going to add myself as a test user here. So let's go and save the settings. And once I save, let's start the application again. And you see it's actually able to run and got the files, but the files has a lot of like blank data. So let me see why this has a lot of blank data. We have to see the header. I think most likely whatever it is coming and whatever I coded, it's having some issues. So let's see. So this is the from, but I don't know why that email is empty. So let's go into the okay. So here I see that the data is there, everything pretty much there. So it is the sender. That's where it came from. So I'm going to change the code with this information. So everything pretty much there. The API is returning all the data from the email. So that is good. Now let's it has the subject, from, to, everything. So let me make sure that I write down this one. So I took a note of these names, the header field names. I'm going to now go back to the code and quickly change so that it is going to get the values that we need from the call. So let's quickly change everything. All the changes are done, but I need the complete list. It is only going with 100. So let me fix. Okay, so I added the pagination logic now. So it is going to not limit the reading only for first 100 emails, and it is going to go through the first and process it and then go to the next page. Okay, let's start the debug and see how it works. Okay, so here's the big breakpoint. Okay, I see the data is there. You can see in the list the first name, last name, email. Most of the data is there. This is maybe other. If you select other, okay, so this one has only 2 because it is not. Okay, so actually, you know what? Let's go to the full view and see. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I have to clean up the regular expressions to collect the rest of the data. Like you can see, it's not bad. You have some phone numbers, but it's okay. Yeah, I'll see for some of the names, the last name is missing. Like here, you can see this one that doesn't have the last name, but for this demo, and also like, let me note down that I'm going to fix that, but I'll think for this demo it should be okay, because at least we are able to read. Yeah, some of the, see this phone number, some of the regular expressions, I have to fix that. But anyway, let's close this one, and so let's move to the next step. So I'm going to create a new file. This will be a data that we are going to feed to OpenAI. So I need to, it can be a JSON file, it can be from a database, doesn't matter, but for this demo I'm going to use a JSON file, and here I'm going to put my experience. So let me format the JSON. So it's the skills that, so I'll put the skills, and it can be an array, so it's a list of skills. So I'll say that, let's start, it can be anything. So I'll say C#, what is my skill level? So it can be expert, and let's add few more. This is good enough, but let's also add a summary of my experience. Is going to be an field that we are going to also provide. Let me quickly grab it. I think that should be good enough for the skills metrics. The more data you can provide, the better for LLM to make a decision. So you can grab these things from from database, or you can add more details. For example, I can add, let's say, my expertise or the domain where I am expert, like finance domain or manufacturing, what all the areas that I worked on. So I can provide as many information as possible to set the context. So that is totally up to you. So how you provide the data set, and this is something that it can really be designed like to support your need. So at this moment, you know what, I'll simplify this, not having much for this demo, but you got an idea. So let's go and save this one. I'm going to save this file, this JSON that I'll be feeding to the language model. So right now, let me save. Oops, it is not, it's asking to save in a different location. So you know what I'll do, instead of this file, I'll let's create a new one. So I'm going to create a new project in the project, so it's going to be added into the project instead of like a random file. Let's set out the JSON and a JSON file. That's the JSON, and I'm going to go to the previous file, copy everything, and I don't want to save this, and paste it here in the new file that is part of this project. And I am going to rename this one as, let's call skills. So it is the skills. I'll put skills.json, and again this can be your context, so based on your application. So let's save this one, and now we have to add the code so that this file will be loaded and will feed this data to the language model. Okay, now let's load the skills.json into the code. Actually, you know what, let's not do it inside the loop. Let's put load the JSON outside the loop. So we'll call it load skills, and I'll put the file name as input. Let's generate the load skill function, and let's remove throw the default code, and we'll use the let's set the path here, and also fix the reference, the using statement using text JSON. So it is done. So now we have to use the skills and the job description to generate the tailored reply. So here we'll be feeding skills and job description to the GPT model, and it is going to generate the reply. So let's go to the function and apply the code. So this is, let's replace the default code with the call. Okay, this one, let's first, before even changing anything in the code, let me first add the required NuGet package, that is the OpenAI. So let's click on that and let's install it, and accept, and it's added to the project. Now let's go to the code and let's fix this code. So for the completion content, I still have to figure out what to return. During debug, we will find out. So let's go and try to use this function. We're going to, actually let's add, once the generates the reply, we are going to send an email. So let's create the stub for send email reply. Let's generate the base function template, and let's remove the generic and paste use the one that I want to use. Let's change the signature to the right one, and we also have to generate the method for this. I'm also going to replace the default text or the code with this one. Okay, let's change the input. Let's make it same as the parameter. All right, so now we have some emails, so let's run it. Actually, let's fix this, remove this one. It's not in use anymore. Let's run it. Hopefully this time it is going to work. Okay, so I see an error. I think the path doesn't have that file. I know what's that. Let's make this, let's go to the properties and set it to always copy. So it's going to, when we build, it is going to be pushed to the build folder. So now it's going to have the skills JSON. It's a different error. So it JSON value could not be converted to string, and I think I know the issue. The one that I thought of making program was just the skills, but then I added the experience as another key to this, and when I'm trying to convert that to the dictionary of string from the skills, I think that's where I messed up. So I wanted to really use the experience as well as part of the generation. So how, okay, here's one thing we can do. Let's add a class that also will represent the dictionary. So let's create a new class. Where is that? Okay, so let's say code class. I'll put the skills data, and skills data is going to have, let's say, something like a dictionary of strings and the experience, the one that I just added. So which means that if I deserialize, it should be able to handle this one. So it's going to be the skills data, and I don't need this function, so the previous function, I'm going to remove this. We don't need this anymore, so because that used to have that. So now load skills is going to return the skills data, and is going to deserialize that JSON that is in that file, and then we are going to use it wherever we are using it. It's a var, but let's I think it's at the beginning, so it is going to, but that var is going to get the skills data now. So that means we have to make sure that we are passing skills in generate reply, and that is okay. So it is object, so it is not going to be an issue. So it is getting the skills and serializing as skills, and that means now we are pretty much ready to run again. So let's run. So this time it is going to get the skills data, and part of that, it is also going to get the job description from the email. Let's see. Okay, oops, it ran all the 100 email, first set of 100 emails. That's weird. Maybe I should put a breakpoint there. Actually, I see that it's catch. Catch is a, empty catch is always very dangerous, and you can see that it actually had the catch block. So let's put some breakpoint here to see what's going on there. So most likely some error must be happening. Let's rerun. I see that. So it's here and it says the key is missing. Where is the key? Let's where is the key? Which key is missing? So let's run it again. That is where I forgot that we do not have the environment variable set. So with the OpenAI key, so let's get the key from the settings. So let's click the settings. Let's open that and now go to API keys. You can see that I already have one key. Let's create a new one, and you can give a key name for demo and create the key and copy it. Let's copy that and copy the key, and let's go to bash shell and set the key. So let's set it with the one that we just copied. I think it added some extra characters. Let me remove that properly and paste it, and the closing bracket. Alright, so the value is now saved. So let's run it. This time it should work. It should have the key. So let's run it. Oops, what happened this time? The value cannot be null. I thought I just added the key. What could be the reason? Let's go. Okay, I know. So let's make sure that the target is the user, because I use the bash shell. It is added, so now it should have the key. So we'll put a breakpoint here just to make sure that it is there. All right, so let's put a breakpoint at in this location. Let's run it. F5. Okay, let's run it, and I'll put that in the immediate window. Just make sure that this the key is getting there. Yes, okay, that was the issue. So now since we have the key, now it's going to call the OpenAI with the prompt that we formatted here, and it should get some return. Oops, another exception, and I do not have access. Okay, let me look. Most likely I maybe reached the limit, and you can say that I may have to, as you see that it's a free trial, credit remaining is 0, so I may have to go and maybe I have to use some way to purchase. So let me go ahead as an individual. I'll fill this and I'll be back. Let me finish. All right, so I made this payment of $10 here, you can see. So now let's go ahead and the API key in this project, let's make sure that I have, and let's edit this here. I think I can edit, and let's select GPT-4, not the 3.5 turbo. You know, actually instead of GPT-4 I can use the GPT-4o, the one that we really wanted to use. So let's save it, and now it should have access to GPT-4o. So I'm going to stop this debugging and I'm going to start this. Hopefully this time it should be able to access it, access this model. Okay, still having issues. I think I'm going to delete this key and recreate one so that whatever it needs to apply, let it apply. And once it is creating, once the key is there, I'm going to put this through the bash shell into the environment variable. Okay, it's done. All right, so now let's stop this and start. This time it should be able to, hopefully this time this is going to accept. Let's wait. Okay, so you can see that it returned the completion, but obviously the format is different. It is having the text as a property. That's where you can see the actual result. This is when I go through this, you can see that it is here, but I see some additional like bracket where it is saying the visa, I think full name, your contact information. So some of these elements maybe okay, but let's first find out how to replace the toString. It's going to be the text. That's where. So what I'm going to do is I'll copy this whole path and return exactly the text. So now the generate reply will have the reply text that will be generated from OpenAI. But let's also tell in the prompt the visa statuses maybe. Now this, I know I'm hard coding it here, but in reality you can actually get it from the database or maybe a metadata somewhere to set the context. So I'm going to just pass it for now. What else can we we can also actually pass the this the way it was. I'll also put my name. That was one of the thing that was there, so I just noted. So now let's run it, and let's see what is the response it is going to create. So this time you see, let's view it proper. See, it actually pretty good. It actually took my name, but your contact information, that is still, let me copy, maybe I can even pass that to format it right. But this is, again, as I said, it's going to be dummy one for now, and let's run it. Wow, it's coming good. This, I'm happy the way the model is actually formatting the response. All right, let's see what is there now. So let's view it in the text format. No, okay, yeah, where is the phone number? But I thought it is there, but it may be there, so I missed that, but I did not get that. So let's see how the phone number, the contact information. So let's run it again, and let's wait for the response. So let's see what it returned this time. I'm going to see that in the text, and I see it. Wow, it's there. Awesome. Okay, so now let's send this email. So it's going to run this, which is the send. It is going to reply to the email. So because we have the message ID and the reply content is what is generated, so we have everything needed to send this message or this email. So let's I think that should be good enough. So it's going to send the reply message, and I see that, okay, is it going to be the first time? So I'm a little bit nervous, but let's see. So It has the raw message, so that's the base 64 encoded. It has the subject as well. Looks good. I think this is going to go to that email. So okay, let's continue. Oops, there is another exception with insufficient authentication scopes. Means that most likely we are not set up that is required to send the email. So let's open Google Console, and in the applications consent screen, let's edit the app. So click on the edit app, and here you're going to add additional scopes. So for now, I'm going to just add the Gmail API, which is the, let's see, the first one. That's the one. So I think that's is good enough, because you see everything pretty much it covers. It is going to, so we'll do only, I think the first one should be good enough, but manage, I don't think so though. Even though, okay, let's uncheck this one and go to the first and save and run it. Let's say this time also I got this exception. So let's find out why we get this. So I found this article in Stack Overflow that says that if when it happens, you're most likely in your account service page, your connection to the third party, most likely I have to delete this application. So in order to do this, so this is the one, so this is your connection to the third party. So let me copy that, go to my application, the security page, let's search for that, and you can see where is my application. So this is all the application, yeah, so that's the one. So this is the Gmail reader. Let's delete this because I already accepted with the consent. So let's confirm delete, and now we are going to rerun the application. So it is then going to ask me again to accept. So okay, let's run. Okay, so you see this is the screen here. You have to select the email and continue, and see here you have to accept all of these permissions. So now that I accepted, it is able to send the reply. So you can see that it's actually successfully run this function. Since we have, now let's go to the sent box, and you can see this is the email, very nicely formatted email that just went out. So it's all using GPT-4o. As you can see, this is what we prompted, and it also, we added the skill set from the JSON file, skills JSON, and also set the context with the additional information, and then along with the job description. So the model did able to create the appropriate fully formatted email that we used to reply. And if you, let's go back to the email one more time. You see this one, whatever the context, let me put that to the marker. So you can see the name that I set as a context. We have the something from the description. Also it picked up what needs to be done, but you see the other context that I set using the citizenship, that was part of some of the query, that's there. And you can see the one that, whatever the actual email from the email body, it picked up that as well. Very well formatted reply. It also had the phone number. You can see that, which the contact information is there, and also have the name, my name, as one of the contacts. So as a creative coder, this part is simple, but let's see if we can also make some decisions based on the models. Can we use it? So let's say, even if this particular email is really from a recruiter or not. So let's add another function to see whether this is really a recruitment emails. So this is the simple, is going to return yes or no. I have so I'm going to use this one here. So let's call this function called is recruitment email, and I'm going to pass the body, whatever the email we received, just to make sure that that's the one. So this function is going to take the email body, and it is going to return a boolean whether it is true, yes or no. So I'm going to use the body here, and that is going to make a decision. So let's run it once and see whether it really works. Let's wait for the control to be here. It is still successful. Now it's running. Okay, so let's get that email, the first email, and let's run this function called is recruitment. So it's preparing the prompt, set the context, and see what it returned. It says yes. So this particular email is a recruitment email, so we can reply to this email now. So now let's step into this function for the reply, and quickly go over the details of the email that we will be sending. We got the form header. Next, let's go to email. So you can see that address. Okay, so you see that this has no reply. So this is not a regular email. So we should not be, even though this is a recruitment related email, but that's not what we are going to reply to. So that something that we have to add additional code just to make sure that it is not reply. It is no reply, so I just added. And also I think I'm going to fix this code that, like, don't call generate unless we are replying. So we are not going to generate and use the model, because those API calls are like is not it charges, so it is metered, so we are not going to. So now let's generate the email, because it is a one that we can reply. This looks like is the perfect one to actually run it. So I'm going to press F5. Let's go and run it. All right, so I think this ran, so I'm going to quickly go to the email in the sent box and see the actual reply. So you can see this actually use more context that I provided. Looks like it's now asking additional properties. So anyway, let's do one thing. Let's run one more email, and see if that actually works. So let's see if this, yes, it is also recruitment. It is generating the response, and let's go to the email and see. Wow, this looks amazing. It has everything that is needed. This is very well formatted, and everything that I gave, additional context of the YouTube channel, the also have the phone number and my name, everything pretty much here included is as part of this email. This is absolutely very nicely formatted email that I can use. Now I have given this demo, it's just sent out right now, but I'm going to really optimize the code, and this really can be used on anything. It is for a demo to show that it is for for applications, but this can be used by recruiters or HR or anybody. So if you have any idea, you just make sure that you put something on the comment, and if you think that what are the ways, then create an application and publish it, and that's pretty much it. Yes, you have to make sure that all the APIs and you have to submit for the application for verifications and all those things. But in the next video I'm going to show you. But thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on future tutorials. Share this with your network and help others elevate their skills. Thank you.